Hey guys, how you going? It's just me. Lorenzo's not here. Let me know if you can hear me. Is my sound okay? Excuse me. Um, yes. Can't find Lorenzo. He hasn't turned up. So, I thought I'd go live anyway, right? Don't want to leave you hanging. So, what does everyone want to talk about until Lorenzo gets here? Oh, he's here. All right. He's late, but he's here. So, all right, the show shall go on. Just waiting for him to connect in. All right, here we go. There he is.
My
All right,
goodness.
we
Are
started
we
without.
live already? Oh my goodness, I thought it was in 5 minutes. Well, I was busy
You.
unwrapping my present. Hello, everyone.
Oh, that's no worries. I didn't know if you're going to turn up, so I thought I'd say hello to the folks that are waiting.
No
So, hello,
worries. Hello,
everyone.
everyone.
Corey, Wayne, CPR Cars, new member. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hippie Shake, as always. Jess, hello. How are you? Australian Cryptozoology. Greg, hello, everyone. And hello, Lorenzo from Opening
Hello,
Presents.
hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's funny too that something just came up. I was a bit late because I was actually talking to my father, back in Toronto for the holidays and things like that. And since we're talking about presents, one thing that really came up, which is very interesting, I found, is getting a present or being present. Presents is always a two-way street. Hey, Jess. In other words, if you want to give someone a present, there has to be a receiver as well. So I think that's something maybe we can bring up and we can discuss here because if you want to, like, let's say, and I'll put myself on the hot seat here. I've been in my life in many ways when I was younger not the best son in the family for various reasons. And now that I'm older and I'm calmer and I've done a lot of studies, as many of you know from watching the videos Campbell and I have done over the years, I've seen that the loving way is probably the best way to go to make life a good way for you. And so maybe you were bad to someone 20 years ago or 25 years ago. I'll put my hand up. And you want to say, well, I want to go and apologize now, or I want to change things now. As Campbell and I both said, the only person you can change in this world is yourself. So it's a present you want to give, but sometimes you can only give that present to yourself because if you're ready for a new idea, way, belief, system, whatever, it doesn't mean anyone else in your life is.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's a good point. We often give presents and gifts expecting a certain reaction or that people will, think a certain way about what we give them. And most of the time they don't, right? And if they
Yeah.
do, it's just there, oh, thank you. They don't actually mean it, right? I mean, presence is an interesting one too because most people, as far as material presence, I mean, what happened to them? Like we live in a society now where people just go out shopping and it's like, oh, what can I get? What can I get? And they sort of look around and go, oh, I'll grab that. And there's not a lot of thought goes into presence anymore. Excuse me. Um, and that's why we're talking about presence. Presence is in being there. And obviously we have presence as gifts, but the presence for the gift side, people aren't there for that either. Like I said, they're just out consuming. Oh, this is on sale. I'll grab that. That's on sale. I'll grab this. And then you give it to someone and you don't get the reaction you want, but you didn't even put the thought into it in the first place. It's very strange. But I think the best
Yeah.
thing that we can do, and I think we say this every year pretty much, give your presence. Be there for people. And that doesn't mean just, be standing in the corner with a beer in your hand. It means be there, talk to people. We're going to be around people that we probably don't see that often during the year, and families get together at Christmas time, and most people just don't want to be there. They spend their time, they get in, they eat as fast as they can, have a drink, and then want to leave, which is a bit crazy. I know it's a part of our our modern hectic lifestyle and family situations. There's normally two or three things to go to, but yeah, I just want to say this, Christmas, when you are there, be there, actually give your presence. And that's much, people will appreciate that a lot more than, a box of chocolates or whatever, you happen to buy them. Don't buy them anything, just turn up.
And if you feel like sharing, don't, I guess, impose what you want to share on other people. In other words, your
No.
presence can be, you know, let's say you want to do something nice and your family is gone, or you want to make a loving relationship with your children and they don't want to see you, as an example. Or it could be the opposite. Your children want to see you and your parents don't want to see you for whatever reason. That's got to be a good way to begin making your presence felt, in that you never know. Campbell and I have talked about going into the unknown, where you're needed, how you're needed, or what the world is suggesting for you to give. I mean, sometimes you give it to yourself, you have a loving feeling, you go out in the world with that loving feeling, and you're going to attract to yourself maybe the other kinds of people that need those loving feelings. I mean, some of the better movies I remember seeing when I was growing up about Christmas was Saying Hello to a Stranger, right? Giving a gift to someone that you didn't know before. The
Yeah.
idea of a present becoming something that's selfless, if it doesn't need, as Campbell said, to come back to you. Meaning they don't need to say, "Oh, what a good person you are. You bought me expensive shoes," or "Look at that diamond ring, and this year you only bought me, a pair of gloves, or you knitted a sweater which is too big for me, so I don't love you anymore." Where's the expensive whatever? Where's that expensive diamond necklace I've wanted my whole life? Really, it's an interesting study, I think, in self to understand presence. The present, as you said, is being here now. Presence in expecting or not expecting, and also, like Campbell said, how much energy you spend in being somewhere with someone, or even being alone. I mean, you might be giving your presence to nature, to the world, to a stray dog. It really doesn't matter. I think the bottom line in all of this is when you're unwrapping a gift, the gift is you. You unwrap it as much as you can. And what happens after that? Well,
Yes, but keep your clothes on, guys. Um, but I mean, it's interesting because we used to have all these things. At least when I was a boy, you know, around Christmas it was a lot more about helping the less fortunate. And there used to be all these food drives and this sort of whole thought about, well,
mm,
why don't we buy stuff for the homeless or for the people that are less fortunate? Because most of us, around Christmas we have too much, right? Most families have so much food they could have two Christmases. So that's something to think about too.
mm,
Like, do your family or your friends, loved ones, whoever you're thinking about buying gifts for, do they actually need anything else? Because possessions, right? Possessions possess, and we all end up with these houses that are just full of stuff that we never really use, but we have this feeling that we can't get rid of it because someone gave it to us as a present, as a gift. So I mean, that's something to think about too. Like, you know, do we really need to go out and consume more? And this is, one of the things that bugs me about Christmas is it's turned into this consumerism. Like I had to go to the shops, and oh my God, and the traffic is just crazy. Everyone's running around, stressed out, spending money they probably don't have, getting gifts that no one really wants. And then, they get to Christmas Day and they're tired because they've been running around all week. And so they don't even have a good time, on Christmas Day talking to people. So, I think we need to get back to basics, right? Stop consuming and giving people, things that they don't really want or need. And this obviously, reflects into real life with talking to people. It doesn't do a lot of good, and it doesn't even work to go and tell someone what they need, because we don't know what they need. It's just our opinion, right? And most of the time we're wrong. I would say probably 100% of the time we're wrong, because unless we know the person and understand them, how could we even have an inkling of what they need? It's like, you go to Christmas when you're a kid and all the grandparents and uncles and aunties, what are you doing? Oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. No, I shouldn't. So, just in life in general, when we give our presence, be there for people. I think it's better to just be there and listen rather than to tell. There's the whole
mm,
concept of we have two ears and one mouth. Use them in that proportion, right? Listen twice as much as you speak.
mm. I would agree. I mean, it's really important for me, I'm saying for myself, to understand even why you're alive, where Christmas came from, the idea of giving gifts. What does it mean to unwrap yourself? As Campbell, even though he said being naked, it could be just being honest, right? If you unwrap yourself, you unwrap your presents, you're honest, and being honest is important to see the whole room where they are. Like Campbell said, like what do they want? What don't they want? What's good for you? What's not good for you? Maybe Christmas, which is really, the Saturnalia, the time of, the longest night to the shortest night. It's a good time to understand yourself, right? To see in your life where you've been before the new year comes, to understand who you are and why you are, and to take that into a bigger presence or a bigger present. Because if you're honest with yourself, let's say, and you've gathered all the good and bad you've caused and all the good and bad you would like to see over the next year, you get a bigger understanding of who you are, a bigger understanding of why you are, all by your own definition of who and why and what. No one can really tell you these things. And, if that's not something that's fantastic and worth exploring, during the colder days when maybe a lot of us are forced, not if you're in Australia where it's getting warmer, but in North America where it's getting colder, you're forced to kind of stay inside, to hibernate, to understand yourself, to see yourself. And maybe that is maybe the best present that you can get and give, before the new year comes, one where you allow yourself to finally, and I know, no matter how long it's taken, you finally get a good feeling on who, what, and why, and where you'd like to go.
Indeed. And thank you, Corey. Yes, I like this show. Thanks for that. And I just put that comment up because I saw a lot of people saying, oh, Christmas is this and it's loosh harvesting and it comes from Hollywood. And I mean, when it comes down to it, we fat shug, we fat hug, whichever how I say that, has got it right. It's whatever you want it to be. That's what you make it. I mean, and if you're going to be there, why not be there? It give you presents. Like most people don't, get to be around, the people that we see at Christmas, whether they be family, friends. We don't get to see them very often. So if you're going to turn up, turn up. Like why would you go and turn up to a Christmas dinner and think, oh, it's just loosh harvesting, or it means Hollywood. And obviously, Hollywood, we don't want to connect anything to Hollywood, but it's what we make it, which is the same as life, right? This is all an analogy for life. Life is what you make it. You can walk around going, oh my God, they're just harvesting loosh off us. We're slaves. We're debt slaves. They won't let me do it. Okay, if you believe it, you'll conceive it. This is the thing. You have choice. We always have choice. And don't tell me I can't choose to pay my taxes, because you actually can, but that's also not the point. It's you get to choose life and show up as you want. That's pretty much the only thing that you can choose. You can't choose circumstance. You can't choose your family, but you can choose how you live your life and what you put your focus on. And, in the end, I would say that we're all here, right? We're all in this realm at the moment. So why wouldn't you want to have a good time? Why would you spend your time focusing on the bad and also the bad that's not provable? There's so much stuff going around and this and this and this theory and that theory, but how much of it is provable? I see people getting really down and, upset and mad at the world. And they're talking about concepts that I just don't even agree with, and it's just such a waste of energy. And what's the net result of that? You stop living your life. You're letting other people make decisions for you. And that's when we really start to lose the game, is when we give up our choice and we let other people decide how we're going to live our life. And if we're thinking, well, the government are out to get me and, they're all reptiles and they're loosh harvesting, that's letting them make decisions on how you act. That's letting them control your life. So be present in your life. Like, what is it that you want? Focus on that. It's like Buckminster Fuller said, if you want to build something better, focus on that. Don't focus on tearing down the old. Focus on building the new.
Yeah, I mean, someone mentioned Christmas is a scam. I mean, yes and no. Everything that comes from your TV is a scam, meaning maybe not for your best interest. But what you make of your days, whether you scam yourself or not, is up to you. And it depends what you mean by Christmas is a scam. If you're going to list 6 things that they expect from you for Christmas, maybe they're not aligned with what you like. But as Campbell said, maybe someone else likes giving presents or visiting their family or sharing a nice bottle of wine with a loved one over the holidays, because for them, it's not a scam. It's more like that's what they feel like doing. And they get their time off work, because a lot of people get the holidays or some space to do more in this time of year. So for them, they get to enjoy a space of, loving gratitude and giving and presents and all the things that they want to do. And if you are feeling, like Campbell said, that it's a scam or you're being scammed, then that's what you're going to feel throughout Christmas, is that it's a scam. So the bottom line in all of this is there's no such thing really as any holiday. There's really no such thing as any days of the week. Even time is suspect right now. Even who you are can change from moment to moment, let alone year to year. So unwrapping the potential that you have, unlimited potential. I think someone mentioned that here as well, and that you are what you create in the moment. I mean, wouldn't that be a beautiful way to go into the new year? Realizing whatever bad is your responsibility, whatever's good is your responsibility, whatever's coming is your responsibility, whatever you're giving and accepting is your responsibility. Seems to me a pretty powerful way to move forward into this year, and to really, and from my understanding of presence, is you put all of you here, and then that allows you to make really intelligent choices moving forward from the now, which will just bring you, of course, into another now.
Yeah, and I mean, yes, we can argue that it's a scam, Saturnalia, we all understand the origins, Krampus and all this kind of stuff and blah, 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 blah. But the point is, if you're going to be involved, right? Have fun. And, a lot of people, believe different things, and it's about, religion or whatever, holy days. But that doesn't matter at all. Like that's not the point. It's like, how does that affect your life? It only affects your life if you let it affect your life. If you walk around going, oh, it's a scam, and oh my God, too much consumerism, blah, blah. And look, I agree with all that. It shouldn't be consumeristic, but that doesn't mean we should be walking through shopping centers growling at people because they're buying presents. If they're doing it for a good reason and they're trying to be, nice to their family and friends, well, that's good. Right? Because it's the intention that matters, the intention. And so if we put ourselves in a place where, oh, it's a scam, oh my God, why am I well, that's our intention. That's us. That's our intention that's been skewed. So again, we're all here. Why not enjoy it? Why not have the best time you can? Because, on your deathbed, you might be sitting there going, oh, why did I carry all this stuff around? Why didn't I just dance more? Why didn't I just have more fun? Why didn't I just not care about what other people were doing? Because the truth is, the more you care about other people and the outside world and, oh my God, they're doing this and it's a scam, the more it's controlling you. It just is. It controls your intent. It controls your mood. It controls your actions. So my advice would be, don't let it. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, like I said, I don't think we should be going and spending all this money and doing all this stuff. But if people are doing it, let them do it. If it makes them happy, let them be happy. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I think we especially maybe in the whatever we want to call ourselves, the truther community, even though I don't like these tags. Sometimes we get weighed down way too much with the information that we come across, and we start seeing the world as bad. That's the problem. That's when it starts to become bad. If you're into something and researching or doing something and it feels bad, just stop doing it. Do something that makes you feel good. It's really that simple, because you have to take your choice back. And if you want to be happy, if you want to be free, if you want to manifest something greater in your life, you have to choose to do that. So I think that's the big thing, is take your choice back. Don't let the world dictate to you through circumstance how you react to it and respond to it, because that's one of our biggest superpowers, is how we act on things. We shouldn't react, yes, but even if I say it's how you react, it doesn't matter that I've said react. People will say, oh, you should act. Well, look, it doesn't matter. It's the message and the intent that matters.
Oh my goodness. And I think the outcome being the unknown is an essential part of this that a lot of people, including myself, forget about. If you need, like James Bond said, send peace to everyone on your phone, tell them to do the same, game over. Well, the game's not over. I mean, and peace is an interesting word, but I understand what you're saying. I mean, yes, you could get on your phone and send peace, little messages of I don't have a phone, by the way. You couldn't send me one, but you can send whoever had one of those little smartphones a little message of peace. Maybe you'll feel better, and that's all right. For you, that's the moment. But the outcome, like I said, a present or a presence or an action is always a two-way street. There's too many people that want to change other people in this truther community, in this wake up community, in this other community. Is like, here's a present, now say I'm great, right? I say I love you, now say you love me back. I want to go make, something better, and I can't believe you're not letting me. You're not allowing me to change your life for the better, the way I think your life should be better, or the way I think your life's richer. Or the way I mean, even I talked with my father this morning, and he doesn't understand my work, and he thinks I should be making more money, and that's for some reason for him a big deal, and that's okay, right? I almost got angry because I said he doesn't understand my life, but how could anyone understand your life but you? To the greatest detail, you need to understand your life, and expecting that someone else should live the way you think, or should accept any present you want, whether it's the present of advice, or the present of money, or the present of a bottle, or the present of a turkey. Some people have walked up to me trying to give me things, and I said no thank you, and they get upset. And I've done the same in the past. I'll go, here's a present for you. I remember a friend that returned something, said, I don't wear t-shirts. Why did you give me this t-shirt that I spent time in getting and exploring? And I handed it to him, and he gave it back to me. It became one of my most favorite t-shirts. I wore it everywhere because, I liked it. So really what I'm saying is, sometimes it's in the action. Like Campbell said, it's the intent that matters. You want to be nice. You want to be loving. You want to be fantastic. Give it to the world. See what happens. Don't judge what's going to come later, because that could bring a whole other, bag of angry chickens to your door.
Angry chickens. Yes. And thank you for the nice comments, Corey, and we fat shug. Did I say that right again? But it's interesting when I say that we have all these comments pop up. I have to escape Australia before Fire Farmer will listen. Well, what are you doing here then? What are you doing here? Just watching with your fingers in your ears? Like, come on. And, do you actually think that one country is better or worse than another? Like, is that what you think? Because it's not true. Like in Australia, as with every country in the world, there's people living amazing lives, and there's people living really crappy lives. But it's got nothing to do with the country. It's got to do with how they're living, and mind the gap. How do I apologize? Whose children are we talking about here? Are you talking about all the stolen children that we don't know, that have nothing to do with our life? If you want to make the world a better place, make the world a better place. Get out there and do something. That'll make you feel better. Sitting on your couch worrying about all the children that you don't know and really can't prove even exist is not making your life better, and it's not making anyone's life better. And that's the whole point of what we're talking about. You got to focus on what you want, guys. We only have so much time a day. We only have so much focus every day. So use it well. If you spend half your day, focusing on, well, I can't listen to this guy because he lives in the wrong country, or what about the children? Oh my God, it's so bad. Well, what are you doing? Because I'll tell you what you're doing. You're making your life worse, and you're not helping anyone else. So what's the point? Like, seriously, what's the point? Like, choose to be happy. Choose to change the world. Australia is brutal. I've never experienced that. Who's it brutal for? Who are we talking about here? Like, seriously, this is the whole point. Like, I have a great time in Australia. I've been to 10 countries in the last 12 months. Had a great time in every single one of them. And every time that I went away, people were like, you can't travel. There's going to be a lockdown. The planes are going to fall out of the sky. Oh, don't go to Eastern Europe. It's crazy. Man, I had an awesome time in every place I went. I met amazing people. And, I probably could have gone and had a really crappy time too. But my intent was, wow, amazing. I'm going to see the world. It's going to be great. And that's what I got. And same as living in whatever country. Like, oh, I don't have a brutal time in Australia. I don't have any problems. I just live my life. I don't live by anyone else's rules. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's a bad place, Fire Farmer, because you're listening to other people and letting them control your thoughts and letting them control your actions. And through that, you're living a life that you don't want to live, right? Therefore, it's brutal. But you can change that. It's just that it doesn't take a lot.
Doesn't sound real.
No, he's probably
he's accusing you of things you're not doing. Probably you're projecting. No, he's intending. How can he project when he shared his past history with you? He's saying, this was my experience. You're being very rude by telling him you don't accept what he's saying about himself and his experience. Campbell's 1,000% right for himself and his experience. You're 1,000% right for you and your experience. You know, there's really and the children, what children do you mean? Do you mean your children? Have you made children? I mean, that's so important. When someone says something like this, leaving out all the details either makes you, well, we talked about, idiots, fools, and a-holes a couple of days ago, but if you don't get all the facts, you're literally an idiot simply because you've retarded your answer by fooling yourself without putting it all together and seeing what it is you need to go, know, grow, and be by understanding everything you can about the specific challenge in time. I grow my future. You can't grow a future. You can't be in the future. You're a funny guy, Mr. Fire Farmer. I think you enjoy farming the fires. But anyways, the bottom line really is Campbell's right for himself. You're right for yourself. I'm right for myself. And this is part about the present presence. You can come as you are and who you are and share it. And people can talk to you. Campbell can comment on another comment of yours if he wants or not. And basically, it's interesting that we're having a present presence conversation here, basically a holiday get together of sharing niceness when Campbell and I don't have to be here to do this. We both have lots of holidays coming, but we wanted to share some nice feelings for being nice. And it's really up to people what they bring to the party. And if you want to bring contention, then you will leave with contention. Oh, like that. You want to bring loving things to a party, then maybe you can leave with loving gifts yourself.
Indeed. Thank you, Corey. We're talking about coming, excuse me, to the US next year. So we'll keep you updated on that. And someone said, have I gone to UK? No, but September next year. But Lorenzo and I are sort of talking about maybe doing an event in the USA next year. So keep your eyes, and ears peeled, and let us know if you're in the USA, if that would be something you'd be interested in, like a live, face-to-face, in-person kind of meetup for a couple of days is what we're thinking. But it's interesting, all these comments going through. It's and again, we don't know if these are real people or if they're bots or not, or just the universe giving us, something to talk that we can talk about. Sorry, what was that?
Corey, send us an email, full4power@gmail.com. We are looking at maybe having a few events. One might be in Oklahoma, one might be in Florida. In fact, I haven't told Campbell yet. Somebody wrote me last night from Hungary who's watching us and said he wants to work with us, start an organic, intentional grow yourself community over there. And I'm going to talk with him soon. So lovely people are coming together from all over the world. So the number 4, power@gmail.com. Feel free to send me some information there, Corey. I've never been to Oklahoma, but it sounds nice.
Yeah, I get these pictures of wagon trains and big fields. I'm sure it's not like that. That's what the TV shows. I said. I think actually someone said something about I don't know, everything on the internet was I can't even remember now. But basically, I think they were saying, there's all this stuff on the internet and blah, 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 and it's different perspectives. Yeah, everything's a different perspective. Everything that's outside of us is a different perspective. And all information is really just opinion stacked on opinion, right? Like we find out in this community. I mean, look at history. It's not true. Look at the education system. Like, none of it's true, but it was true for the person who was putting the information down, probably because they probably heard it secondhand from someone else and thought, oh, it's true, because they forgot to stop and think for themselves. So if we want, to change things, we need to change things. Jethro, mate, how you doing? Good to see you. I'll send you a message too. Sorry to hear about Buddha, mate. But I'll see you on the 10th. I'm heading across the country. On the 10th, going to hang out with Jethro for a week, and then I'm going up to baby or dog sit Sherlock Holmes, the German Shepherd. And this is how I live my life, right?
Oh, nice.
Like it's not a brutal country. It's not. There's no one telling me I can't travel or telling me what I have to do or anything like that. I just intend things, and stuff happens, and I go along with it if I want to, and that's it. And you can all do the same. You don't have to let other people and society and politics and all this stuff tell you how to live your life. You can take the power back, and which is, you can take your choice back and your actions back, and you can do, what's that saying by Einstein? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. So if you're not happy with where you are, do something different. If you do something different, you're going to get something different. Sorry. Yes.
And here's an interesting thing. Basically, no problem. It's like, Jess, let us know too about your community. You said you were starting. And Sandro, thanks for the kind word. I saw it come through. Like, if Campbell and I and myself, like, I'm going to be throwing my life to the winds very soon in a couple of months and hitting the road, because my feeling is to do that. And if we have to have a traveling Freedom Now festival or a freedom, I don't want to say the word circus, although sometimes this world is a circus, but more of a show, we're going from place to place to place. I mean, if you have an intentional community here, someone has an intentional community there, and someone else has an intentional community there. Imagine we all get together and make that toroid Campbell's talked about. We have one event in Australia, we have one event in Oklahoma, we have one event in Florida, we have one event wherever you are, Jess. We have one event in Hungary, wherever this other fellow is that sent me this information yesterday. One event in Ireland. Someone says, Ireland, please. So it's not really enough, I think, for someone to say, come here. It's more like, help us. Help the world. Say, we've got these 10 acres and we can do this to bring you here, or we don't. If we put our efforts and energy and intent together, there's more than enough probably for all of us. I mean, wouldn't that be the best present possible? We don't have to be related. As far as I know, I'm not related to Campbell, genetically speaking, and I'm not related to anyone who's talking, as far as I know, genetically speaking. On the other hand, I feel very close to this community that's coming from wherever it's coming from. So why don't we help each other to make the best world possible? And then very, very quickly, we can get beyond countries being bad and monetary systems being bad and people being bad, and show each other through our actions and our presence and our present that we're making the world what it is we would like to see. Not we're talking about it or asking someone for it or complaining about it, but we're literally putting what's more that we have in the center. I mean, how many people do you know, Campbell and myself, that are grown men willing to uproot themselves and go anywhere to bring their experience to you and help everyone to have a better life? I mean, that to me is very Jesus-like, if you like. Even Campbell's got the long hair going on right now over there. Maybe Jesus looked like Campbell. I don't know. I never saw him. Who knows? Maybe Jesus was from Australia. I heard he died in Japan as well. There's even there's a small village here, supposedly, although I'm sure there's a lot of those where it says, Jesus died here, somewhere up in the mountains. So what I'm really saying is, we're probably all the saviors, right? We're all here to share our Christmas presents. We're all here to be wonderful. We're all here to bring a better world. It's everyone's birthday. Every day that you're alive, it's a new day that you can give thanks for being, having been birthed. So, really, we can change everything in 10 minutes, probably faster than that, if we all got off our butts, Campbell and I have talked about it, and put our actions towards what we would like to see possible.
Totally, man. Like literally, if everyone decided we're not paying tax anymore and we're not listening to the government anymore, they would disappear instantly. But the problem, the reason that hasn't happened is most people are listening to outside influences. Well, I can't, stop working. How would I get money? Well, I've got to tell you, there's much more money outside of the 9 to 5 than there is on the inside of the 9 to 5. You have talents, you have choice, you can do something different. And I'm not telling you to go and quit your job and just hope something turns up. But if you intend things and your actions, go along with your intention, stuff shows up. And the other thing is just do things. Just do it for free. Do it for free. Like I've done so many things for free, and I didn't make any money online for years while I was running this channel. And then all this stuff started coming my way. I met all these amazing people. I got all these offers to travel. I got all this stuff happened, right? Because I didn't expect to be paid for just being myself and doing the right thing. I just wanted to share what I could share, and which was basically interesting things, right? I just thought, wow, people are going to find this interesting because I do. And that was the intention at the start. It was never about, I'm going to start a YouTube channel because I need to make money. I mean, if that was the intention, I wouldn't be here because I don't make enough of YouTube to live, really. But with everything else that's come along from doing YouTube, I've had an awesome couple of years. Like I said, I've traveled around, I've met amazing people, I've just done amazing things that I would have never thought of. And it's because I'm being true to myself. I'm not doing things to get to get a result. Of course, we all want results, but it's not like I said, I'm not making a video with the intention of, well, I'm going to make $200 off this or $1,000, and if I don't, then stop YouTube. Right? You just do what feels right. You be a good human, and then good stuff comes to you. That's really the bottom line. And you can't be a good human. You can't be your true self if you're worrying about all this stuff that is perceivably bad. Because what is good and what is bad? Does it even exist? William Shakespeare, yes, I know he probably didn't exist. I get it. He said, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. And that is true. Because, people go, oh my God, the lockdown, the jabby jab, it was so bad. Was it? Was it really? Look how many people are awake. Look how many people change their lives. Look how many people are seeing the scam of jobs and the government and can see what's really going on now. To me, that's a good thing. But if you're sitting there going, it's so bad, they're controlling us, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that message. So to me, nothing is good or bad. It's just happenings. Things happen. And it's us who decide they're good or bad. And once we do that, again, someone else is thinking for us. We're not thinking for ourselves. I'm ranting a bit today, I think.
Yeah. No. And what you're sharing is fantastic in that we're here. We get the best gift possible already. No one can actually give you the best gift you received, your birth. You're alive. People don't understand that. I mean, so many people waste their time in regrets or anger or I used to have a revenge list. It makes my wife laugh when I was 22. People I'm going to get even with because they said a bad thing to me. A revenge list. They did these bad. It was a mental revenge list, but I still had a revenge list, right? Like this person did to me, I'll get them one day, and this person did this to me, I'll get them one day, or they said a horrible thing to me. Soon I'm going to say a horrible thing back to them. Like I was crazy, obviously in my early 20s.
Crazy.
But yeah. So, instead of having a revenge list, have a loving list, right? Decide who or how or what you're going to do moving forward, because we're alive for 100, 200. If you're alive for 300 years, which I hear is possible, it's not a long time. Even if you're alive for 3,000 years in this particular body, it's a very short time in the relative comparison of the potential of what's possible for a life and what you can do and see and make and create, enjoy and love. And so you have that gift already. As Campbell said, we don't really need anything, right? We have been tricked or coerced or pointed in a direction of lack or needing or having to buy, or having to give up our time for a job or for time is money, as that stupid saying goes, or dog eat dog world, all these crappy sayings. But the bottom line is once you get beyond that, you can see for yourself where you need to go by picking up your own power. And I would say the biggest thing is learning to trust yourself. That's something that most people really don't, because they go, I really want to give up this job and go live by the beach in Australia. Let's say you think Australia is a good country, and then you tell yourself you can't because you don't trust you'll have whatever it is you need to go make that real for yourself.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're all creators, right? So trust yourself. Sighting, is that how I say that? 300? No, I'm not from Melbourne. I did live in Melbourne. I'm from everywhere, man. I'm from all around Australia. David, yes, I know what the meaning or someone's meaning. Who is it? Oh, it comes from law, right? Human, yes, it means monster in someone's dictionary. I get it, right? It also means the colorful man in other people's, vernacular. But that's not the point. The point is you get to decide what it means for your life. That's the point. All right. Stop living off other people's opinions. Oh my God, he said the bad word. Oh my God, how did that change your life? Like me saying the word human. Like, come on. Like, let's stop, focusing on the minutia, the stuff that doesn't matter at all. Right. Because all that is just you steering your mind. It's your mind, right? The great trickster. That's what your mind is, the great trickster. And it's steering you away from being yourself, right? We're saying things that are obviously starting to spark a few things in your mind, and your mind's like, oh, we don't want to go there. He said human, bad, bad, bad. That's all that's happening, man. It's like if someone gets triggered, it's got nothing to do with the person who triggered them at all. It's only got to do with the person who gets triggered. Because, you can stand in a group of 10 people, say something, and only one person gets triggered, right? That proves it's got nothing to do with the person speaking. It's got to do with the person getting triggered. And it's their mind. It's their whatever you want to call it, their self, their soul, right? Pointing out something they need to deal with. But, of course, most people who get triggered, they start pointing the finger at the outside world. Change, outside world, change. Show me the example, any example of someone who's changed the world. And I mean the world, right? Like there's not many, if any, right? You can change your own world. You can influence people. You can change, parts of society, but you can't go and change however many people there are in this realm, right? 8 billion, they say. Is it 4? Who knows? Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. But you can't go out and make everyone do something different. You can't make one person do something different, right? You just can't. You can influence them, but the only way to influence them is, guess how? By being yourself, by acting in the right way, by intending in the right way, just being the best you. That's the only way to create any change, because then people will look and they'll go, oh, why is he so happy all the time? Why do good things always happen to him? Why isn't he stressed out? And then they start thinking about it, and they'll probably even ask you, what do you do? And that's how you change things. You be the best person you can be. That's it. Yeah. I'm ranting again.
That's
I feel like I'm ranting.
Someone, no, that's okay. Someone mentioned, that the latest sea flu was the greatest con ever played on man. And I got to say, it's just one in a long line. I think the greatest con ever played on man. The history, the fact that you're probably immortal, the fact that you could live forever, the fact that you don't need food, the fact that it's yes. This whole dream is probably the biggest con that's ever been played on man. Like finger pointing, it's like everything that's not you understanding for yourself how amazing you can be, and how powerful you are, what your imagination can do for you. There's a reason Campbell and I did 9 Hidden Secrets, while we've done courses, while we've launched. We haven't even talked about our Autodidactic Alliance. Please, I send your link below. I don't know, is the link still there, Campbell, for people to send their emails for when we launch our
yes,
Autodidactic
I'm pretty
Alliance?
Sure it's all down below, yep.
I mean, so we're going to be getting into bigger or deeper depths for these things where we're not censored. There's a few things I've stopped myself from saying in this, where we can call a spade, call ourselves what we need to call ourselves, and be honest with what we want to share, without any censorship or things, daring to get in our way. But we have played the biggest con on ourselves, in my opinion, by telling ourselves we're not as great as we can be.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the thing, is the world, is life happening for you, or is it happening to you? Right? What if it's all happening for you, even the bad stuff? What if it's just so that you can get a different perspective? What if it's just so you can learn what you don't want? Like, is that helpful? You know, I mean, I'd say I would. You know, I'm not going to walk into a bushfire because I don't want to get burnt. You know, I can't swim, so I'm not going in the ocean because I'll probably drown. Right? Like, this is the thing. Like, there is no bad as long as you learn. As long as you learn something and you learn a lesson and you move forward, then how is anything bad? You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. There are no mistakes, only mistakes, right? So take two, take three, take 571 if you need that many takes. But it's all growing, because ultimately, what are we here for? Are we here to live, you know, a material life and do what we're told? Of course not. We're here to gain awareness, right? To expand our perceptions, to have fun, to love, to do all these good things. And we can all do that. Like Lorenzo was saying, we can all come together, and, you know, I'm sure that right now we have the resources or everything we need in the, you know, truth or whatever alternative community to change the world. But we're not doing it because people are stuck in their minds. I can't do this because of this. Oh, I'd love to do this, but what about the tax system? And they're ripping us off. And what about Hollywood and the children? It's good. You know, unless you're in Hollywood, that stuff has nothing to do with you, right? I mean, it's great that it's getting exposed for what it was. But I mean, the truth is, 20 years ago, when all this stuff was, you know, going on a lot more than it is now, because we didn't know about it, did it affect your life? Of course it didn't. So why would it affect your life now? This is the whole thing, guys. Perception, focus. Where are you putting it? What are you intending? Because no one can do it for you, just like you can't do it for anyone else. You know, life is the one thing that we have to do for ourselves. And, you know, life is the only game where the rules of the game are to learn what the rules are. So learn what the rules are for you, not for anyone else, for you. You know, this is the thing. You know, someone mentioned again about, oh, words are all spells. Yeah, well, I've been saying that for 4 years, man, online. Like, seriously, I understand it. But guess what? You can transmute a spell. You can change it. Haven't you ever watched any of these fantasy novels and, you know, watch these fantasy movies or read the books? You know, it's like, you don't have to take someone's spelling. If someone walks up and calls you an asshole, guess what? You don't have to believe them. You don't have to. You can transmute that and you can go, oh my gosh, this person's obviously having a bad day or a bad life or whatever. And you can show them love instead, right? We get to transmute whatever we want. The only time that we can't do that is when we believe things are fixed, like meanings and spelling. Of course, it's all spells. It's in the word, spelling. Like, of course, right? Hello. But you don't have to take, if someone's giving something, you don't have to take it the way that they want to give it to you. If someone, you know, yells at you in, you know, when you're driving around and road rages out and calls you an idiot because, you know, whatever, you slowed down, they didn't want you to, you don't have to take that on. You can respond in a different way, that's the magic. You can transmute anything if you intend to do that.
You can dispel a spell. There's always the opposite of it. I mean, we use words, we learn words. I mean, maybe from what I've understood about life, and this is just my take on things, we all come in with a distortion. We all come in with a bend. Just look at your parents. I'm sure everyone can look at their parents and find a few things they don't like about what got passed along to them, you know, when they were little beings. And, you know, maybe if you chose those challenges to come into your life, and this is just another way of looking at it, you can understand why you're here, maybe to straighten the challenges out. Because if someone passed whatever along to you, you know, take your pick of the bad experiences you had when you were small, and you don't pass it along, or you forgive it, you transmute it, you change it, you dispel it, you know, you unwrap it, you look at it, you taste it, you go, that tastes bad, I don't want to pass it along again. Then you can't say, I'm this way because, you know, I was spelled when I was 3 or 4, which you may have been, but now you're not 3 or 4. Probably there's not so many 3 or 4-year-olds watching us right now. And that would give you the opportunity to dispel whatever's been put upon you. And wouldn't that be maybe even why we're here, right? Is to pick up some garbage, whatever it was, and to clean it up. What a great present to give yourself and others for Christmas.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people talk about changing the world, and we're here to change the world, and we're here to make things better. Well, yes, and you can, but not if you're focusing on everything's bad and broken. Like, you have to see things as better. You have to see, you know, ways to do things differently to get different results if you want to change the world. Or else, you know, because the thing is, you're changing the world anyway. Whatever you're doing, just by being here, you're changing it. You know, whatever, right? If you walk down the road and you're in a bad mood and you give someone the evil eyes, you've just changed their day and their world, depending on how they receive that. So we can't not change the world. That's what we do, right? The only constant is change. But, you know, we can put more intention and thought into how we're changing the world. And then we can, you know, achieve something that we want to achieve. And that's the whole thing. Be present in your life. Make your presence a good one. Like, wouldn't you rather be on, you know, if you're in your last days in the future somewhere, wouldn't you rather look back and go, well, the world's a better place because I was here? And all that might just be that you smiled at a child one day when they were having, you know, a bad day, and you changed their whole day, and that could change their week, and that could change their life. You know, maybe you said something to someone and it made them think a different thought. That will change their life. Literally, you can change the course of someone's life just by a conversation. That you don't have to go out and you know, do, you know, some huge, massive, you know, thing in the world. You just need to be the best human you can be. And when you do that and you be yourself, you'll be amazed at what happens and who starts to coalesce around you. Sorry, yes?
No worries. So we've had Chug, you know, imagine these were played in schools. It's interesting you mentioned that, you know, because come this spring, I've been invited to an alternative school in Connecticut to kind of teach a 6-7 week course very much related to everything Campbell and I have been talking about, you know, a lot of it anyways. So maybe these things are starting to change. It's like, I'm going because I've decided, I'm not saying imagine the world is a better place if these were played in schools instead of the programming. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to a school. I'm going to play this live instead of the programming. I don't know how it's going to work or not work. You know, I've invited Campbell to come join us on the Eastern Coast in the USA around that time as things work out. He didn't have that expectation that I was going to join him. But, you know, we've decided, as Campbell said, without looking for a paycheck or a salary, to offer this to the world. Then I was invited, then I've invited Campbell, someone else may invite us over there. So we're using the imagination, but that's not enough. We're literally getting off our bottoms, you know, and using our actions to go bring this out, to go share this, to see how we can make the world a better place. Because like Campbell said, when I'm on that last breath, even though maybe from age 1 to 30, I was a bit of an a-hole. I was one of those a-holes we talked about in our last conversation. You know, I don't want to leave that way. I want to take whatever I've learned and realize, oh, I've made a whole bunch of mistakes. You know, Campbell shared that with me years ago, and it's still sticking with me as a happy bit of advice. And I want to change those towards something that means more. Like if someone was born as a Buddha and stayed a Buddha and was always preaching Buddhahood, it's not as powerful as someone said, yeah, I once did these 6 horrible things, and then I realized those were horrible, and now I'm doing these 6 wonderful things to kind of, you know, change things. So God loves a reformed sinner, right? I once was lost, but now I'm found. I think those are the people generally that go to heaven, because we can all agree there's so many hellish aspects of this dream that we're living in. I would even say probably we come here to this dream hell of being human that we can bring heaven down, because how else is heaven going to get here? No savior's coming to do it for us. We are the savior. We're already here. Everyone here right now is already Jesus or Buddha or whatever you want to call yourself, or God or spirit. Doesn't really matter. We're already here. And so if we're waiting, we're just waiting for ourselves to wake up, you know, to choose ourselves, to unwrap this present and bring it out already. Because hasn't it been long enough that we haven't brought out the best in ourselves and shared that with the world? That's my rant.
Yeah. And you know, that's kind of the point of this whole video. Presence is it's your presence that will change the world. Like it just will. So but you get to decide how are you going to change the world? Like, how is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Are you going to be focused on, building things better, or on, oh my God, the things are so bad? Because most of the things, and I think there's a saying about this, but I don't know what it is, but most of the things that we, think or imagine are bad have really got nothing to do with us at all. But they're not even part of our life, and if they are, they don't have to be. All this stuff about, oh my gosh, it's this and it's that, and the children, what about the children? Unless it's your child, then it's got nothing to do with you. And if it's something that you really feel strongly about, well, get off your ass and do something about it. Stop complaining. No one cares if you complain. It doesn't change anything. In fact, the only change it would make is people will probably start to avoid you, because no one likes complaining. So what is it you want? And what is it that, how do you want to change the world? How do you want to change yourself? That's really the only question. Do you want to continue on the path that you're on? If you're enjoying your life, then great, continue down that pathway. If you're not, change roads, change thoughts. It's really that simple. It really is. And believe in yourself, right? Believe that you have the
change
power
your
to
actions
change.
afterwards.
Yeah, believe that your actions
and
are powerful.
And then follow them up. Do them. Like Dak, thank you for the invite to the East Coast, if you said. It really, people don't get, whether it's a relationship you're in or your son. Someone said their son got angry because she smoked when she was pregnant 27 years ago. I guess you said your son's 27, so it was a long time ago. That's okay. I mean, you told them because you wanted to get it off your chest. Whether he loves you or not, or hates you, doesn't really matter. You know yourself now as a more honest person, and that's really all that matters. Even if, let's say, you can't be a better mother to your son. Maybe you have to be a better mother to someone who's not your biological son. Or you have to, if you don't like all the children that are starving in Africa, maybe you have to help the child next door. Like Campbell said, instead of complaining about it. If you don't like a war that's going on in some part of the world that may or may not be happening, stop the wars in your life. Stop the wars where you're fighting with people, the little wars, even the war inside where you're not allowing the best of yourself to become what it's always asking to be. The little like the big, the outside reflects the in, as above, so below. It's one of those old sayings. And I find that to be true. We can make heaven, but it's not here for all of us because we're not really expressing that heavenly intent, world, action, belief we would like to live in fully. I know I'm not yet. As long as we're alive, we can always do better.
Yeah. And I believe that heaven and hell are right here, right now. I don't think there's some white glowing place with a man with a beard that we go to that's good, and that there's another place full of fire with a red man that's bad. I think they're just stories. I think heaven and hell is right here, right now. It's how you're living your life. I mean, look around. Clearly, some people are in hell. They're having a really bad time. Others are in heaven. They're having a really good time. Right? So both are here, and we get to choose where we live. As far as I can see it, like that's just my experience. Is we get to choose. Are you going to live in heaven, or are you going to live in hell? Are you going to create heaven on earth, or are you going to create hell on earth? Because this is what we do every day with our actions. And of course, actions are driven by intention. Intention is driven by thoughts. So it all starts with thinking. It all starts with you. It all starts in your mind. And if we live our lives based on external thoughts, external stimulation, then we're not living our lives, right? We're living someone else's life. And it's not even someone else's life. It's just the opinion of someone else who probably wasn't living their life either, right? And then we get all these people who don't even know what they're doing. So you're the power, guys. You are the power. You are the creator, right? Imagine it. I put up a short video last night. Imagine, right? Mage, magician. I am the magician in E. Right? What's E? Everything, eternity, right? You're the magician. You're the focus point. You are the center of the world, because you can't be anything else. You can't be the center of someone else's world. You can only be the center of your world. So it's an amazing power that we've all got. So, like Spider-Man
Mm.
says, with great power comes great responsibility. We're all powerful. And maybe that's all we need to do is be a bit more responsible with how we wield our power, and stop focusing on all the minutiae, all the little things. Oh my gosh, he said that word. Oh my God, this is bad. Oh my God, he lives in the wrong country. None of it matters unless you make it matter, right? And then and the crux of that is choice. You get to choose one way or the other. So choose well and be present
Yeah,
this
come join
Christmas.
us. Present.
Yes.
Tell them a bit about Autodidactic Alliance. I've been looking at a way to put it together, and I'm thinking, I'm thinking it's an intelligent space for us alone and together to gather our personal power. That is what I feel would be a good way to, if you've got personal power, you can listen to your imagination. If you've got personal power, you can be more honest. If you have personal power, which basically becomes more than a belief in yourself, it becomes a knowing that you can do whatever you need to do all the time, all the ways and all the things possible, and you're ready to face the challenges that are coming, because it's never easy. It's not comfortable, but it is free. And if you can do that, we can share how we've done it. Other people can come and share how they've done it. We're happy to put together personal power and resources and make the better world that we all want to live in as fast as possible right away. Campbell and I said we'll do it over the next 3 to 6 months. I think we can, maybe even faster than that. What do you have to say? That's my take on what we're doing with Autodidactic Alliance.
Yes. And Hippie's on it again. Thank you again, Hippie. Best moderator ever. And I saw Chris and Sherry here as well. Thanks to all the mods, and thanks. I still don't know how to say your name. Probably Wee Fat Chug. Yeah, man. Like if there's any shows that you think I could help people with my perspective, let them know or send me an email. But yeah, locals like we want. This is what we've been talking about. We want to build a community, a proper community of people that are invested, that are real, are invested properly in changing their lives, and then so changing the world. We want to get conversation started. We want it to be interactive. We want to get real and stop all this minutia that we've seen all through this chat for the last hour about people going on about stuff that really doesn't mean anything and doesn't matter at all, right? We want to get focused on, let's build what we want. Let's not focus on what we don't want. That's already been built, right? Where attention goes, what is it? Energy flows, right? Don't give it your energy. So, if you're real and you want to start, changing things, if you just have questions, if you just want to be part of a group of, people that are going somewhere, that are positive, that are happy, that are, discussing interesting things, well, come and join us, because this is what we want to build is a place that everyone feels good, for starters, that's a beneficial, uplifting place, but also where, we're not going to beat around the bush. We want to be real as well, because unless we're real, then nothing changes, so, if you want to be a part of it and you're the kind of person that doesn't get triggered when things get a bit real, then come and join us. You'll find the link below. I think the link below, what you'll find is an email. So put your email in there, and then you'll get an email with the link to the locals. And that way, if you're on our email list, we can let you know about everything that's going on, so, things in America, live events, other places, get on the list, and we'll keep you up to date with what we're doing, because, it's just another way that we can communicate with you. And of course, the other thing is we don't, we want to get off YouTube. We don't want to have to censor ourselves, which we do have to do, just because of all the silly rules. And this is the thing, we could sit here and complain about it. YouTube is so bad, they're censoring me. Oh my God, I'm being shadow banned. Oh my God. Or we could just get off and go somewhere else. Right? This is life. This is the choice we have. Right? We can do something different. So link below, guys. Come and join us. And of course, for everyone who's been so amazing and kind and offered us, to go to different parts of the world, our email's below as well. So you can always contact us through there. Send us an email, let us know what you're thinking, and if we can do it and we think there's going to be benefit for people, we'll do it, because life is for living. So get out there and live it.
Life is for living. And for only 12 people in May, June in Connecticut, I'm doing a live teaching course, 6-7 weeks. If you want to figure it out, we can figure it out together. Because I found doing this face-to-face is the best way to do it. Getting the feeling for someone is way more powerful. I mean, this way is great, don't get me wrong, but face-to-face is even more powerful. It was more powerful for me to hug Campbell, face-to-face one time when we spent a few days together than all the videos we did, because you get an opportunity to really get to know someone by being in their presence.
Presence,
quite literally.
yes.
So if you're interested, your presence. If you're interested, I'll be there. There might be other ones coming after that, and we're so happy. I've invited Campbell, as I said. So if there's something you want to do, you want us to do, you want to share, get on the email list. We'll keep you posted. There's a million ways you can help us, and there's a million ways we can help you, and we're happy to see what's possible together. Share our presence.
Get in there and put your energy into what you want. I'm also going to be doing a lot of shows in Australia next year with Kelly. There's a few tours going on. There's a lot happening, guys. So if you want to keep up to date with it all, obviously subscribe to this channel. Give me a like, give me a comment, all that kind of stuff, and get on the email list, and we'll keep you up to date with what we're doing. And like I said, there's an email you'll find down there as well if you've got any suggestions, if you want to contact us or talk to us or whatever it might be. Feel free. And of course, stay awesome, because you are, right? This is why I say stay awesome, because you already are awesome, guys, right? So just believe that more, stay that way, be more awesome if you can, and enjoy, hopefully you've got some time off over Christmas. Hopefully, you've got some events to go to and some family, and just be there, just be present. Change your family, change your friends just by being you, being more awesome, being more present, right? Because that's something that is very achievable. So anything else you want to add there, Lorenzo?
No, thank you so much. It was wonderful. This has been as good for me as it was for you. I came in a little bit sad, let's say, at the beginning. I was a few minutes late because I was kind of having it out with my father about some past historical challenges we had in our lives. We've both known each other my whole life, quite literally in this case. And, so I got to, I'm not better or worse than anybody here. I have my challenges. I've had my challenges. Bringing it out and sharing it. I want to become a better man by being a better man, by acting as a better man, by sharing a better man, by literally putting my money and my actions where my mouth is. So thank you all for being here. It really does mean a lot to me.
Yep. Indeed. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for all your input. Thanks to the mods. And yeah, stay awesome. And so we've got the locals, all the links are down below, which means we'll be doing less on YouTube, maybe one a month or so. So if you want to keep up with what we're doing, definitely come and join us on locals. And have an amazing Christmas, have an amazing day, and stay awesome, because you are. And we'll talk to you, I don't know, probably next year. So be amazing until then. We'll see you then. All right. Bye for now, guys.
Bye-bye, everyone.
And stay awesome.